All right, so we are in our second session of day 2 at the Handshake track of Namescon. I got my Flamingo stuff, also soft promotion for our Flamingo Handshake auction tomorrow. And right now we got an amazing panel in the backstage. There's a lot of energy and a lot of different people. I think it's also a lot of different time zones. I know I'm really proud people are awake early in the morning or late at night for this. So um, let's bring Fistful back. Fistful was also helping on the stage yesterday. Hey, Fistful, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. It's good to be back.
Yeah, man, it's great. I know people people get used to this culture. I think on this session we'll talk about that more, right? About the way the space has been going and the future and some trends. So, how you feel about everything so far?
Pretty good. I haven't been able to attend much of the event. I actually just got back from work, so I'm just now kind of settling into everything. But I'm really excited to see these next couple of talks going on.
Sure, sure. I know you work hard. You've been helping so much with the preparing for this event, so thank you. And let's bring the other panelists on the stage. I'll let you. You're hosting this panel, right? Right, Fistful, and I'll let you take
No,
away.
Kaiba is going to
Well,
be hosting this, or he's going to be moderating this panel.
okay, Kiba, right, or is it Kaiba?
Either one. I'm open.
Oh, okay. I've been going by one thing we learned. We talk online all the time, but we learn about the name pronunciations. Okay, so okay, Kiba, you're a host. Great, awesome. So you started up the HNS fund. I've known you since the very beginning of my involvement with Handshake, and you're also been in Ethereum early and everything in the crypto space. So it's really great to have you on today and your support of Handshake. So do you want to bring the others up? Do you want to do an intro? It's your time now.
Yeah, sure. To everyone else. So just an introduction for me. My name is Kiba or Kaiba. I run the Handshake Development Fund, which is an open source donation and grants mechanism for the Handshake community. We've given about $50,000 to different open source developers and community members, many of them presenting here today at the conference. And we just love open source, we love community, and that's what this discussion is going to be about. So we have a lot of the important community members within Handshake that do various things, whether like building apps, working on the core protocol, building companies. And so we're just going to talk about Handshake and why we're here, what brought us into the community, and some of like the challenges and advantages that we have of working within this decentralized organization. So do you guys want to give some quick introductions? I don't know if everyone's familiar with you from the conference so far, but just give some quick background info on what you do within Handshake and kind of like what brought you here. Fistful, do you want to start?
Yeah, I'll start us out. So mainly I'm more of a kind of community manager in the Handshake community, kind of bringing everybody together for events like AMAs or stuff like that. And what really brought me here was I started out not too long ago, like in DeFi, and these projects like took off, and I saw that they took off because they built amazing communities around their tokens, and I wanted to find something special like that. So I kind of went on a hunt, and I found Handshake, and I found this amazing community that's kind of been on the down low, and I kind of just want to spread it to everybody because I want everybody to be part of this internet revolution that's going to be happening in the next couple of years.
Awesome. Yeah, I think we're all kind of here for that. Very grassroots community, very low key, but very tight knit. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Zipkin, do you want to go next? Oh, you're on mute.
I just said good to see you again and everyone else. Matt Zipkin, I contribute to the Handshake core protocol software, and I'm a Bitcoiner really, and Handshake is kind of the first altcoin that I've been interested in, especially development wise. And I think we'll probably get into that. But yeah, the community brought me in, and the goals of the project I thought were exciting and actually useful.
I'll go next. My name is Chad. I've been a domainer for 25 years. And what we've been doing is tokenizing, fractionalizing domains on chain. Got into Ethereum in the early days to see with the automation, and then really the mentality is D-Web and D-Stack. So we're really involved with the Handshake community for that D-Web, D-Stack future and how it balances out the centralized powers with ICANN. So we see Handshake as that equalizer or something that can suppress the centralized, inefficient ICANN system and try and build a better D-Web stack. So that's what we're working on.
Yeah, cool. Hi, everyone. And why I'm here, it's actually the first time I'm involved in anything blockchain related, and Handshake just I don't know, it sucked me in because it was really fascinating, and it's the idea is really simple in my mind, to own a name. Everybody can understand it, and that's yeah, from the beginning. And I started this project called Miami. Started as a rating service for names, has evolved into a block explorer, and yeah, we'll see what comes next.
Very cool. Yeah, one thing I find interesting about Handshake is it's a lot of people's first blockchain project. Like they have just kind of entered crypto through Handshake, which I find interesting because it's about DNS, which is like this very technical thing that like most people don't think about on a daily basis. So I'd be interested to hear what exactly about Handshake brought you into it, Stefan.
I'd say I value freedom over everything, and the ability to free the internet, or the I want to be part of freeing the internet, and I want to see a world where you don't need passwords. I want to see a world where you can use internet services without providing all of your information. Just yeah, and I hope Handshake can be a big part of that in the future.
And Stefan, I just wanted to just say thank you for building with us, and I love seeing all the progress with Niami, and it gets me really excited. You know, and that's one thing that I really do love about this community is that it gets me excited. You know, I see all these people from all these different backgrounds, and they just build. You know, they come in and they just do something for the community, and it's really awesome to see. And I think that's kind of one of our strengths is, you know, I mean, look at me. I'm a pseudo anon and I'm a frog, and I get to be up here on stage with a bunch of great people. So, you know, opportunities for everyone to get involved in this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. Thank you.
We heard about it really early because we're just in the domain space, and a lot of investors asked us about, is this viable, not viable, you know, kind of stuff like that. So, you know, this was in progress for many years, right? Several years before it launched. And, you know, I wouldn't say skeptical, right? Because people have gone there, done this, tried to do it before us. But I think once you kind of start seeing how it starts and progresses, and then you get into people like, you know, talented with Zipkin and, you know, Kiba and you guys, and you start seeing these other just people around this ethos growing this, you know, decentralized entity economy is pretty crazy. And so part challenge, part freedom, part excitement. And I think that's, you know, the motivation that kind of continues to spin from people involved like you guys. So I appreciate your time and effort. It's good to be a part of it.
Yeah, the community around Handshake is really exciting, and I think there's like it's naming, and that's a creative thing, coming up with a name for something, or once you have a name, coming with something to do with that name. And so I think we're going to find that the Handshake community is unique in the overall crypto blockchain ecosystem because it's naming. It's something of just a little bit more interesting, artistic, inspiring, perhaps. Everyone who I've met that's really active and into it has got like ideas and is creative. It's not just the people trying to get their 10,000x, on a small token or something. And the other great thing about the community is that it's very proudly decentralized. And Handshake is also unique in the ecosystem in that it was kicked out of the nest right away by the founders. There's no foundation, there's no marketing budget. All the Handshake people have heard this stuff over and over again because people keep coming into our channels and offering us services, but there's no foundation, there's no funding. We're all kind of on our own and doing our own thing.
Yeah, following on that, like, have you had any advantages or difficulties with how Handshake is structured with no centralized entity or anything like that? Like, I come from kind of like a background of DAOs. I've been working in DAOs for a few years now. So this whole concept of like not having anyone to go to and having to kind of lead yourself is familiar to me. But I know it's as like a larger community, it does get very difficult to kind of get things done. So do you guys see that as like an advantage for Handshake, or have you guys dealt with that personally or with your projects or companies?
I actually think it's a really big advantage for our community. One of the reasons that I've kind of felt so, I guess, like kind of nervous to go into other communities is because, these people, they already have these big teams and these big investors, and they already have people getting paid to do like specific things like marketing or education or building or something like that. And having no kind of leadership, you can just kind of go in and be like, hey, go on Discord, go on the Telegrams and be like, hey, where do we need help, or like what is there to do? And there's plenty of people in the community that would be like, hey, we need help here and here. You can do this or build that or write a paper. That's kind of where I started. Is I just wrote a couple articles and now I'm here. So it's great.
I think the risk reward, decentralized systems take longer to get going, but they form on their own energy, right? So they're harder, they don't get taken down as easy. I think the sustainability of Handshake is the decentralization, and the more coordination and activity that's happening, the stronger it becomes every day, every week, every year. So it's just getting started, right? So imagine in a couple of years, if it's still maintaining that, it's the whole thing is about being indestructible or independent. So that decentralization is a trade-off, and a lot of it's coordination, but that's getting a lot better. So I think it's definitely a strength.
Yeah, the resilience of the community. You can't take us down. We'll always self-evolve into like a new thing.
I think as long as you have someone who can answer difficult questions like Matt does all the time. He helped me a lot in the beginning, and so that's probably one of the big challenges, or was a big challenge for me. But on the other side, Handshake is already really good documented, I think, in my opinion. Most of it, worked from the start. And as long as you have someone who can answer questions, that's fine.
I do want to give a shout out to Matthew, because when we got into it, when you decided to go over to BitGo, like, oh shit, one of the lead developers of the Handshake is leaving, and it kind of, you just only see the risk, like, oh my God, if it starts losing its talent, where does it go, right? Because there's a lot of things that just fizzle out. So Matthew, I think just accolades to you, and again, I think you're definitely a very important part of the technical infrastructure of Handshake. I just appreciate your what you've done, because when you left, I sponsored you in GitHub because it's like, no, we can't lose talent like that. We got to attract more talent in, right? That's the rising tides raises all boats. We're in this asset class, and we really got to do it. Everybody's got to do their job to attract this talent or keep it. So thank you.
Yeah, and thanks for your contribution during that time. I wouldn't call myself a lead developer though. I'm just a contributor, like everybody else. We all got to contribute. And to OX Stefan's point, it'd be great if there were like a dozen more people answering questions in those chats. And I know like we're getting there. I'm very, very excited to look forward to that time.
Don't worry, I will be one of them, but I have to learn first. So.
The airdrop that was baked into the Handshake cake is an interesting way to attract some talent too. And I don't know if we've mentioned that in the conference yet, but the huge amount of HNS coin supply goes to GitHub developers directly to their PGP keys that they have stored on GitHub. So there's like 170,000 people out there who have Handshake, whether they know it or not, and they're all open source contributors.
And some of like the main contributors within Handshake came in through that airdrop, right? Like Fauci and maybe Rithvik, right?
Yeah, and the Shake Stats guys, I think, as well. So probably, I don't know how many. I think there's been either 4,000 or 5,000 or 6,000 airdrops so far claimed on the chain. I follow a Twitter bot that reports it, and if there's 5,000 people claim the airdrop and 4,995 of them sell, but we get a Fauci and a Rithvik and a Shake Stats out of that, good deal.
So what are some things like products that you guys want to see built on Handshake? Like you said, it's like a very creative community, and we're always like building things. There's some very interesting kind of old school like 90s websites. There's some weird like cypherpunk websites. There's some apps being built. So kind of like, what's your favorite thing that you've seen so far from the community, and what's something that you want to see built?
Well, something cool that was posted on Twitter, and I really gotta give props to the Impervious team. You guys been building like crazy. Buffer put SNSD on iOS, and it would be really cool to see more mobile resolvers, because I think that's kind of where we've been lacking. I go on my phone. I'm on my phone a lot because I'm on the go, and I can't check out any cool Handshake sites until I get home. So yeah, that's really cool to see. And then also probably some really unexplored territory, but connecting Handshake names to NFTs on Ethereum. I think HNS Memes was talking about something like that, but that's like a really unexplored area.
We're doing that at Realty DAO, but again, there's still a lot of tooling, right, with smart contract layers on Handshake, chains, right? So I think Kiba, you were working on some cool gateway or bridges, I think. So I think there's $2 trillion of liquidity over here in crypto. I think the value proposition of Handshake is still getting going, right? Everybody's still educating a lot of stuff. I think the bridges that you were working on and getting some of that liquidity over in the Handshake, I think will start, there'll be some cool tooling of how to embrace this crypto stuff.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and launch that bridge. I've been like waiting to make it like fully decentralized and get like this whole decentralized Oracle network with Chainlink and all these things. But I think it's about time that I just like launch it and not wait for perfection. So yeah, maybe like next week I'll actually do those contracts, and then people will be able to bridge their TLDs over to Ethereum and then get NFTs for their TLDs and then do whatever they want. Like they can do badass type registrars, they can do anything. Yeah.
Somebody asked, I think, how to find Handshake sites, and there's a search engine that's also in development. I think they just released a new version sometime this week, which is really exciting. And their domain is HNS Search, HNS EARCH, and it's a top level domain, so just http://HNS Search. If you already have Handshake Resolver, of course. I think they have an ICANN domain too, where you can see some domains. But it's like asking, what are some websites I could see on the internet? Like, ask around. We have, everyone here has got some websites up. I have one called Proof of Concept. There's Naomi, and and we have a search engine now.
Yeah, search is big, and I think like the new V2 of HNS Search is really awesome. They're doing like a really good job of like a tagging system, so you can see like, is it secure? Does it have HTTPS? Is it like off from HNS.2, kind of like, is it a mirrored website or is it natively on the Handshake, like those kinds of things? So I think it's going to be, it just launched this week or last week, but I think it's going to be a huge improvement to the HNS community.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see sites like that started as like MVP kind of proof of concept stuff. Like it's actually been over a year of Handshake now, um, and these sites are starting to turn into V2. We saw a preview of what Block Explorer and Shake Decks are going to look like, and this is getting really exciting.
Interoperability is a huge thing. It's nice to see everybody kind of building off of each other and just putting one thing on another. And I think Stefan can talk about this. He was integrating the Bob Wallet extension and Block Explorer into Niemi, if I'm correct.
Yeah, but actually it was really easy because it was such really good prepared and really easy to implement. So it seems a bit like a bigger deal, but it actually isn't that big of a deal.
Take the credit, man. Some people, it looks like magic. Just go for it.
Yeah, that's right. The most work was from Chike. I don't know his name. Chike, is that right, Matthew?
Jackie from Kyoken.
Jackie. Yeah.
I think Jackie is acceptable pronunciation. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
I'll have to tell you in the next panel, I think.
Yeah, I think that that Chrome extension or that just browser extension is going to be very big for the developer community, because now if you want to have anything that interacts with HNS blockchain, you don't have to have a native app. You don't have to have your own wallet. You can just connect to Bob Wallet. So it allows that composability where you can just plug in to any wallet. You can plug into any app. And it does have that, like, you don't need to log in with a specific application. It's just you own your wallet, and now that wallet lets you interact with any application automatically. So that's going to be huge for the HNS community. Very excited from the developer front on
that. Yeah, think about when it gets distribution, right? Once Handshake can get distribution, the quote usually says, "Content is king, distribution is King Kong." So think of the open. What's going to happen when there's distribution on a Handshake, right? Matthew was talking about just the creativity that you can do with any URL or TLD, right? And a Handshake, and the price point, right? Giving anybody in the world an opportunity to kind of claim your own land. That distribution is really, everybody's fighting for that, but again, slowly over time, Handshake will get its distribution, and then that's going to unlock a ton of value into the community, into the system.
I think Mike, if you wanted to say something, Kaiba.
No, go for it.
Oh, okay. Mike just said that to give kind of some resources and tools for people to check out, and just one that I use a lot or suggest to people a lot, learn hns.com. That just has a bunch of resources, articles on there, and the shake.xyz, and that, it keeps you up to date with everything going on in the Handshake ecosystem. You wouldn't expect there to be a lot going on. I mean, unless you're really in the nitty gritty, you're not going to know what's going on. And the Shake is a huge help to keep everybody updated in what's going on in the community and the ecosystem.
Yeah, the Shake really is the best. I definitely read it every week. And they have tons of good information that even I can't keep up with. I don't know how they do it. And they have really good stats on the current Handshake network, like how many names got claimed this week, the current sales volume. They have a lot of good information from just like the blockchain itself, like chain stats, and then also just the general community and announcements. And then of course Niami is great. You can see all the best domains, and now it's a Block Explorer. You can just check out everything on there.
It's perhaps an issue with our decentralization right there, that it's kind of hard to give people one thing to go to. Even on Telegram, there's a dozen Handshake related communities, and I'm on at least 3 or 4 Discord servers. There's IRC channels on both Freenode and Libera. It means, I guess, that there's always one way to get in touch with Handshake, like somewhere near you. There's some easy way. But like handshake.org is a decent place to start. and you can find our communities that way and get more information from there.
Yeah, and I kind of have to do this, but I gotta plug our Discord. You can find it in the Handshake Development Fund virtual booth. You can find our Discord. You can find where to donate to us so we can help keep growing this amazing ecosystem that we have right now.
Yeah, the Discord is pretty fun. And Fistful has been hosting AMAs with different people from the Handshake community. So if you have any project that you heard about at the conference and you want to know more about them, you can just hop into the Discord and request that we do like a dedicated AMA session with them so you can find out more.
Yeah, actually, Chad is up next. We're going to be hosting an AMA October 1st on Friday. We're going to learn about Realty Down and everything that they do. So that's really exciting. That's something that I haven't explored yet. So I'm excited to kind of take a dive into it.
Cool. Well, I think we have like 1 or 2 more minutes. Does anyone else have anything they want to say about Handshake and the community or their projects?
So many different ways to contribute. If you know JavaScript or C, we have core code written in those languages. We're always looking for more websites. We need content to attract other people. Think about something you could do with your own special name.
I think the resiliency of the community. I backed away for about 3 months this summer, and it's really exciting to see. Excuse me, just the amount of just dedication I think that the people are giving to it, on their own time, own dollar. I think it's there's something brewing here. So I think it's if you're a newbie, just get in and start learning, start contributing in these forums. There's a bunch of them out there now, and it is growing.
Well, I think that's time. I don't know if the moderators.
Yeah, we can. I can do the transition into the next panel if you're cool with that, Mike. Or next speaker, I guess.
Look at the dedication. Mike is 5 a.m. It's definitely a tired person. That's thank you, Michael. You've been doing awesome too.
All right. I mean, it was great to have you guys on. I love talking about our community and everything. We have one of our big builders, Jackie, coming on next. So, yeah. Hope you guys stick around and watch it.
Yeah, thank you guys all for
You
joining.
guys.
Thanks.